Today, I thought we would start the foundations of an iconic, well, what has grown to be an iconic yoga posture these days. When I was starting yoga, it was definitely not that way at all, but handstand is the posture that a lot of people associate with yoga. When I began, that was not even, that was kind of a bit of an afterthought. Headstand was really the posture, and headstand and shoulder stand, these are the kings and the queens of the yoga practice. And now handstand has become iconic because I think a lot of people feel that if they were able to do a handstand, then they'd be strong or free or body aware or light or fit or whatever it might be, balanced. There's all these associations that we put on handstand that really handstand doesn't have anything to do with any of that stuff. But what we can learn from the practice of handstand is all those things. The practice of moving towards handstand can teach us all of those things. But actually being in a handstand is more or less, it's when you get there, it's surprising how easy it is. But the journey to handstand is like the most ridiculously challenging and dedicated lifelong adventures that you'll ever be on. But it's like climbing, to the top of the mountain. Once you're up there, it's like you're at the top of the mountain. It's easy to be at the top of the mountain, but the effort that it takes to climb that mountain is a whole nother story. So actually, handstand itself, balancing handstand, is not something to aspire to, but the dedication, the hard work, and the effort to move towards getting into a handstand, that is something to honor about yourself. The willingness to move into the challenges of life and to take them on and find a way in to expanding your physical potential, strength, flexibility, body awareness, to becoming more aware of different aspects of our mind, the parts of our mind that hold us back, our limiting beliefs, to become aware of those things and directly work towards creating new emotional and mental patterns. This is what handstand really has to offer, is courage. So today, I offer you, we're not gonna be balancing handstand in the middle of the room or anything like that, but we're gonna be starting working on the foundations of what's required of a handstand. That's forearm strength and the ability to understand when you're shifting your body weight forward and back. Now, if you can do this with me just where you're sitting right now, if you can lean forward and back. Hello, Laura. Hello, Tara. Hello, Lara. Nice to have you here. Welcome in. Kristen. I think I already said Kristen. But if you shift your weight forward and back while seated, most of you have mastered this, right? This leaning forward and back. But when you go upside down, suddenly, because your nervous system is upside down, because all of your muscular systems have switched roles, so normally if a muscle pulls from here to there and you flip it upside down, it's pulling from there to here, if that makes any sense. But your body has to be retrained in order to understand itself upside down. So shifting your body weight forward and back here is not the same as shifting your body weight forward and back when you're flipped upside down. And so learning how to lean, body weight, resist, grip the fingers into the ground. Those two things are what create balance, essentially leaning and then stopping yourself from leaning. And then what creates lift, lightness, freedom, the proper biomechanics in the shoulders, the straight line, all of that stuff is the push aspect of the shoulders through the elbows, through the wrist joint, okay? So pushing comes from the shoulder, well, even comes from the rib cage. You kind of, as if you were to push something away, you wouldn't push your chest out like this. You would push your chest out back like this, because it's the shoulder blade that is moving forward and the core that is retracting back. So the push power actually comes from the fire center right here, the third chakra, or the willpower, or the solar plexus region, the center of your core, where your psoas muscle really it attaches along that port, but it ends is right here, okay, right in that center. So if you can think about your back body filling out while your shoulders lift up to your ears, your elbows straighten, all the way through your wrist. It's very similar to, if anyone's ever taken a basketball shot, it's those biomechanics. When you take a basketball shot, the shoulder lifts up, the elbow straightens, and the wrist does it, so it's called flexion, okay? But it's hard because in handstand, the ground is making you do wrist extension, but you're trying with your muscles to go into flexion, okay? Now, the weight of your body and gravity is going to cause your shoulders to fall down, your elbows to bend, okay? And it's gonna cause you to sink. What you're trying to build is the strength to not sink, to push, to expand. So we need to develop the strength of the shoulders, the strength of the triceps, the strength of the forearms and wrists. Okay, this is an adventure, and it's far beyond just hitting a straight line and holding it. It's a dedication. It's a practice that requires effort, determination, and routinely showing up for yourself. We're just gonna get a taste of it today. And for some of you, this will be an adventure that you wanna keep walking on. And for those of you that are wanting to walk on this adventure, I suggest I have two different things you can do. I have the handstand immersion, which happened in December. Every class was focused on some building block of handstand. And then I also have the handstand training that you can get in the shop page here on theyogimat.com. And there are two parts to that. One is strength training and the other part is balance training. Okay, so if you're wanting to go past what we do today and you want to really integrate handstand into your practice, I suggest all three, but if you just want to focus on handstand, I'd say you're feeling physically fit, you're feeling strong, then just do the handstand training, strength training, and balance. But if you want to integrate it into a routine yoga practice, December immersion as well. All right, let's get rolling, everybody. Yes, handstand, here we go. Okay, so before we begin, let's just get the wrist warmed up. You just do little circles like this. And this is just creating a little movement at the wrist joint, moving our synovial fluid around. I'm gonna move this a little bit closer, I think. Sorry. All right, so now let's get the shoulders warmed up. Interlace the hands. First thing, keep the elbows bent and place the hands on top of your head like this, okay? Now, do little back strokes with your right shoulder. So it goes up, back, and around. Forward, up, back, and around. Just little shoulder circles. Then do the left side. Notice which side is easier for you, a little bit more mobile. Now do both sides. Okay, now pull your elbows like squeeze your fingers toward each other, like squeeze them into one another so you create a little lock there. And now gently pull your arms apart from one another without losing, okay? Your fingers are gonna stay gripping together, but you just try to pull your hands apart a little bit until you feel your shoulder blades retract a little more. So you just open up the front body. Now, stretch up through the hands, and when you do that, you're gonna notice that your shoulders will tend to drop and your elbows won't actually bend. Not obviously, you can't really see yourself, but you'll look something like this, most people, when they reach their arms up. I'd like you to go a little bit beyond this. In fact, not just a little bit, but more than you think. Shoulders go up and elbows straighten until you feel your muscles right by your neck, these are called your trapezius muscles, activating, and also the tricep muscles, the muscles on the outside of the arms here, they should be active too, okay? So really reaching, you see how my shoulders are kissing my ears? That's where you're gonna be. Let's take a full breath in. Exhale, relax all the way. Now place your hands on the ground and the best you can, pull your shoulders down all the way. And for some of you, depending on your seated position and your arm length, you'll actually be able to get your palms fully on the ground. In this seated position, I'm not capable of it, but you're gonna pull your shoulders down as much as you can, getting your palms as close to the ground, and then bring your head back. Okay, this is the exact opposite, right, of what we did. A moment ago, we used our upward fibers of a trapezius to reach to the sky. Now we're using what's called the lower fibers of the trapezius to pull the shoulders down. Warming up the bottom fibers of the trapezius will ultimately give us more play, more range of motion when we reach up. So we're gonna go back up again. Bend the elbows and take the hands on the head. Roll your shoulders up and a little bit back, then reach up to the sky. Now, again, goal here is to fire up the muscles by the neck. So you're gonna let the shoulders rise up and try to kiss your ears with your shoulders, and now straighten your elbows all the way. Okay, so tricep muscles are engaged. Reach to the sky. Now, when you're doing this, you're gonna notice that your front ribs, like mine, are probably poking out in front. So think about lifting from the back of your heart. Lift the back shoulder blades up. Lift the back of your ribs up. Your kidney bend, lift that up, okay? And that will just help you kind of move the front ribs back a little bit, but keep your arms reaching up, elbows straight, reach up, reach up. Okay, then release. Shoulders, pull them down, okay? Up, back, and now pull them down and try to reach to the ground. And bring your head back, ears back, throat back. Two more Ujjayi breaths, slow and steady through the nose. You see how my hands are in an extended position, so they're not like this. I'm pulling the fingers up towards my my shoulders, and that's going to start to awaken the back of my wrist muscles here. Some of you are able to touch the ground. Awesome. If so, keep pushing your shoulders down. All right, here we go. Last round. Interlace the fingers. Place the hands on top of the head, shoulders up and back. And reach all the way up. As you reach up, try to straighten your elbows all the way. Get your shoulders awake. Get your tricep muscles awake. Reach through the centers of your palms. Now check in with your front ribs. Can you move your back ribs up to the sky? I'm going to show you from the side angle just so you can see the difference here. So as I'm reaching up, you see that arch in my back? That doesn't work so well in a handstand. That would have caused me to fall. So watch how I lift the back ribs. Now I filled out the back body, but of course the hands are going to go forward when I do that. So I want to lift the arms up and try to move them back with the back body full. All right, and release. Last time, pull your shoulders down. Make sure, I think I have some technical difficulties here. Let me just make sure. Pull your shoulders down, straighten through. Not sure. Okay. Hopefully everything's okay. As you pull your shoulders down, move your ears back. You see how the head tends to be forward for me. Probably for you as well if you're also sitting at a computer all day. So bring the ears back, throat back, in line with the shoulders. Pulling the shoulders down, straight elbows, the best you can. All right, and release that. Let's just take the hands behind the back, stretch the shoulders open, reach the arms back behind you. Of course, if you can't interlace your fingers, you could always grab a strap or something, hold something between your hands. Okay, and release. Let's come to all fours, hands and knees. And on all fours, I'd like you to just kind of get a little active in the fingers. So grip your fingers into the ground, and you can kind of see, all right, this is when my fingers aren't gripping right now. Watch how my fingers start to, instead of being like kind of just spread, they are spread, but they're pulling, my fingers start to pull back towards my hand. Okay, so I pull the fingers back into my hand, and then as I do that, I press the fingertips down into the earth. I press my metacarpals, the heads of the metacarpals, which is where the fingers meet the hand. I press the metacarpals down into the ground like I'm a cat, like Man, somebody's going to make a meme out of that one or something. I could see it already, a GIF. All right, so press your fingers and your metacarpals down into the ground. So get really strong in the forearms. And now see if you can lean back a little bit. Maybe move your knees back. Let me show you at the side angle now. Okay, you see how my shoulders are back behind my wrist. This is going to be a lot easier for most of you. Okay, shoulders back here. Now lift the heel of the hand up and see if you can have your fingers still gripping the ground. Ever so slowly, without moving your hips now, keep them right where they are. Slowly lower the heel of the hand back down. Now press the metacarpals down where the fingers meet the hand and lift the heel of the hand up. That was a little fast on my part. Let's go a little slower. Very slowly descend, elbows straight. Very slowly ascend, elbows straight. Very slowly descend, elbows straight. Ascend, elbows straight, descend. Now, let's add another action. Elbows straight, upper back full. So push the ground away and try a few more. So you see my upper back is now full. Okay, this for some of you might be too easy, might be, and some of you it's going to be really hard. So I don't. Hopefully, you realize that this is at different stages of life. This is not going to be easy for everybody. This different stages of our yoga practice, not going to be easy for everybody, okay? So this could be easy, this could be hard depending on what you've done previous to this in your life, okay? Now, the beauty of this, relax for a second, is that you can make it more challenging if you need it to be, meaning if you're already strong and that's an easy exercise for you, then all you do is lean forward a little bit more. Okay, and then you do the exercise here. Okay, this is way harder. And this is increasingly harder. And you gotta be careful that you don't strain these muscles, because if you're like, this is not an exercise where you go like, I'm strong and I go for it, because these muscles are really delicate. Okay, you go incrementally, slowly forward and make sure that you don't overdo it. Okay, and then those of you that are really having a challenge, go back further here. And this should be a little bit more accessible for you. That's what we want to do. We want to make sure that it's accessible, but appropriately challenging. That you're able to do it, but at the same time, you're building strength so that some effort is required. Okay, so wherever you are, you can do a few of these. We call these hand push-ups. It trains the flexors of the wrist. These are what stop you from falling, your brakes in a handstand. They need to be strong. Okay, if you did that well, then you're probably burnt out and already tired in the forearms. You can do the opposite, stretch your wrist like this. So you pull your fist back towards you, stretch the back of the wrist a little bit. All right, and let's step to the top of the yoga mat. Let's get our blood flowing, heart beating, body moving. Some sun salutations together. One of the best postures to learn how to do handstand is Tadasana. So let's move the inner thighs back until the hips line up over your ankle bones. From the side angle, you'll see my tendency will be to lean forward. Everyone has this similar tendency where they lean forward from. Some people it's more from the chest, some pelvis, knees. So just move your thighs back until your hips, your outer hips are stacked over your ankles. Now with your thighs back, let's move the front ribs back slightly so the rib cage is now stacked over the hips. Now the shoulders go up and back, and then of course what's left forward is the head. Bring the head back. So now you have your body in one straight line. Don't change that straight line at all, but start to roll the palms outward. Okay, as soon as you do that, your head might roll forward. Keep the head back, just like the rest of the body. Now the next step is to, I'm going to show you from the side angle, to lift the arms up without changing what you just did. Okay, so you see that? You move, let me see if I can get parallel to this or perpendicular. Move your hips back, ribs back, shoulders back, head back, and then lift your arms up without changing anything in the body. Okay, shoulders straight up and down. Now you're one straight line. It might sound ridiculous to be focusing in on this, but essentially handstand, the most challenging part is learning how to get your body in one straight line. And that's the most efficient, easy way to hold a handstand is straight up and down. Okay, let's take a full breath in and out. One more, full breath in, look up a little bit. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step left foot back as you exhale. Okay, high up on the fingertips, take a moment for breathing. Now let's gather strength in the legs. Pull your feet toward each other till your hips lift a bit. And round your upper back so your fingers get light. Press your right heel straight down as if you're about to stand up. Your fingers will get even lighter. Take one more full breath in. Exhale to downward facing dog. Forward to plank pose, inhale. Exhale, knees down, lower chaturanga. Little baby cobras. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift the heart and hands. Exhale, release. Heart, hands, and feet. Inhale. Exhale. All fours, hands and knees, inhale. As you exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Step right foot forward. Hands on the front thigh, lunge preparation. Pause here. Gather strength in the legs by pulling your feet toward each other. And press your front heel down. Now, pull your ribs in and take your arms by your side. Your body from your back left leg all the way through your head should be in Tadasana, one straight line. Now, without losing that line, we're going to swim the arms for handstand arms. On the inhale, reach the arms forward and up on the same diagonal as your whole back leg and torso. Exhale. Inhale, reach the arms. Shoulders touch the ears. Exhale. Inhale. Touch the ears. Exhale. Two more. One more. And release, fingers to the ground. Straighten through the front leg, inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the knee. Same thing, inhale, straighten through the front leg, look forward, half lift. Exhale, bend. One more, inhale. Exhale. Step forward, please. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, left foot forward. Exhale, bow forward. To the sun, rise up. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. To your heart. Inhale, rise up. To the earth. Half lift, inhale. Right foot back. And pause here. Take a breath. Soften. Gather strength in your legs. Pull your feet toward each other. And as you do so, press through the left heel. Try to get full in the back body. Then you do that by pulling your front ribs in and lengthen through the top of the head. One more breath. Step to down dog. Forward to plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. This time, slide your hands wide. Let's prepare for our 3-part cobra, feet a little wide. We have some guests in the house, so I want to make sure that we go through this a little bit slower to begin. Step 1 is to lift the front body as you inhale. Step 2 is to soften the front body down and roll the shoulders back. Step 3 is to lengthen the soft tissue of the abdomen upward. Exhale, release. Let's do a couple more. Inhale, step 1, lift the front body. Your feet can be a little bit wider. Exhale, soften, sag the low rib cage forward. Heart melts, shoulders back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Last one. All right, all fours, hands and knees. Tuck the toes, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Left leg to the sky, inhale. Step forward. Hands to the front thigh, come up and pause. Let's get settled into our preparatory lunge position. Get strong in the legs by pulling your feet toward each other and press from your left sit bone, the left butt, down into your heel. You see how my hips, as a result, when I do that, my hips rise up. That's what we're going for, that lift, that lightness. And we try to get the whole body in one long diagonal from the back foot through the top of the head. We try to keep this body shape as we move through arm positions, okay? This is a great handstand prep position because the back leg all the way through the arms are going to be doing a handstand. You know, obviously not the same relationship to gravity, a little bit different. Okay, so let's take the arms back. Try to keep the head lifted. And let's do 5 breaths. Inhale, reach, shoulders try to touch the ears. Keep the hands lifted. Exhale. Front ribs in. Exhale. Reach, reach, reach. Touch, touch, touch. 2 more. One more. Exhale. 3 times. We inhale, straighten through the front leg and look forward. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more. Please step forward, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow. Rise up to the sun, Urdhva Hastasana. Hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Hips back, ribs back, shoulders up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Halfway lift on the inhale. Left foot back, exhale. Rise, high lunge. Pause here. Now, let's get the front ribs back. And when you do that, you're probably going to feel your back knee bends. Do your best to straighten the back leg. Okay, firm up the quads. And you don't want to bring your ribs back so much that you feel any sort of discomfort in your low back, but you want to try to kind of lift the back kidney band up, the back ribs up. Now, as you do that, take your shoulders up to your ears. And a few rounds, I'll show you another angle so you can see from the front side. We're going to just, on the inhale, lift and touch the ears. Exhale, bend the elbows. Let's do a few more. Inhale. Touch the ears, ribs back. Exhale. Inhale. Ribs back, shoulders touch the ears. Okay, now open up warrior two. Hold for a full breath. While we're here, let's do some arm movements as well. Inhale, reach the arms up. Neutralize your head. Touch all the way through shoulders to ears. Exhale. Shoulders down once you get to shoulder height. Inhale, reach up. Shoulders touch the ears once you get to the top. Exhale, shoulders start to release down. Once you're shoulder height with your hands, pull them down. Inhale. Touch. Exhale. Reverse warrior. Inhale, shoulder touches the ear. Exhale, hands to the ground. Pivot the back heel up. Inhale, plank pose. And pause, knees come to the ground, hold. Find your fingers super strong as we went over in the beginning. Grip the ground and straighten the elbows. Now, let's learn how to lean our body weight forward and back. Forward is towards the front of the yoga mat. Back is towards the back of the yoga mat. I know that sounds ridiculous, but when we go upside down, it'll be really confusing. Forward is to the front of the yoga mat. Back is to the back of the yoga mat. Now, see if it's possible to grip the ground so much that when you lean forward, you make it hard to lean forward because your fingers are so active, pushing into the ground, gripping the ground, and then back. One more time, lean forward, but grip as you lean forward. Press the fingers into the ground, make it hard for you to lean forward so your fingers are so active, and then release. All right, now come towards almost like you're gonna come to child's pose, but not quite, okay? And lift the heel of the hand up like this. Whoop. Okay, so like this. You see how the heel of the hand now is it's dropped right now, and now it's lifted. You're gonna try to keep it lifted. Also notice my shoulders, we're gonna move these towards the ears like this. Heel of the hand lifted, armpits up like this. Now, this will make you laugh. Most of you just will probably just laugh instead of doing it. You're gonna lift up, slowly lift up the hips and knees in a down dog with the heel of the hand lifted up off the ground. And the armpits lifted, shoulders to the ears. Okay, relax. Relax the heel of the hand down. Lean forward, let's lower down chaturanga. Slide the hands wide, fingertips. Inhale, lift the front body. Exhale, soften the midsection down. Inhale, stretch the abdomen, lift up through the top of the head. Exhale, release. All fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Enjoy a full breath in and out. Okay, let's take the right leg to the sky and hold to your three-legged dog. Look at your right leg, square the hips so that the right thigh is facing straight down, but don't collapse the pelvis towards the ground. Just keep the right hip even with the left. Okay, now lean into your right hand a little bit and grip your right fingers into the ground. Really reach through your right heel. Now push the shoulders to the ears. Push without dropping your chest. So notice how my armpits aren't dropped, my chest isn't dropped. If I did that, that would look like this. So I'm not doing this, okay? So lift the armpits up, lift the ribs up. One long line from right foot all the way through hands. One more breath. Step right foot forward. Straighten through the front leg. Inhale, look forward. Exhale and bow. On the inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, straighten and bow. You can round your upper back a little bit like you look towards your navel. Inhale. Last round. Exhale, straighten. Bow. Look at your belly button. Inhale, bend the front knee and step forward, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And pause here. In Ardha Uttanasana, press the back of your hamstrings away from one another. If you're new to practicing with me, what that's like is trying to push the mat apart with your heels. You might have to bend your knees at first. It's like you're trying to spread the mat underneath your feet by pushing it apart. And as a result, you start to feel your upper and outer buttock muscles activating. So you're pressing the backs of your hamstrings, the backs of your legs away from one another, like you're spreading the mat underneath your feet. But really what you start to feel is your thigh bones start to rotate slightly. The hamstrings rotate outward, the front of the thighs rotate inward. Okay? Now as you're doing that, you're able to lift your hips up a little bit higher so the thigh bone settles back in the hip socket. And this becomes a preparation for what would normally be Uttanasana, but for today it's going to be a preparation for handstand prep position. So now I'd like you to place your palms fully on the ground. Many of you won't be able to get there all the way unless you round your back, your upper back, and look towards your navel. Okay, this is totally fine. Now, if you still can't get your hands to the ground, take your hands further forward. Okay, keep going forward until you can get your hands on the ground. Now, pressing the back of your hamstrings apart, lift your heels up and lean into your fingers. Fingers grip the ground. Fingers grip the ground, elbows and shoulders to the ears. Elbows straight, shoulders to the ears, back of the hamstrings apart. And this is handstand prep position. Okay, heels of your feet down, hands to the hips. Rise all the way up to stand. We'll revisit that in a moment. Reach to the sky. Exhale to the earth. Halfway lift, inhale. Right foot back, exhale. Inhale, high lunge. Okay, now, let's take a moment. We want to try to lift I almost think of like a coat hanger kind of picking up the back of my shirt. So maybe just try that with like or a rope. If you think of having a rope in your hands attached to the back of your kidneys there, pull it upward. You see that? Okay, then shoulders up, arms up. Take the head back, shoulders kiss the ears. Let's take a full breath in. Ribs back, exhale, bend the elbows. Shoulders down. Inhale, shoulders go up, ribs back. Head looks a little bit up, ribs back, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach up. Open up, warrior two. Okay, pause here. Get settled, pull your feet toward each other. Rotate the palms up, pull your shoulders down to start. And on the inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, shoulders kiss the ears. Exhale, hands come down, then shoulders follow, shoulders pull down. Inhale, rise up. Shoulders follow the hands all the way up, kiss the ears. Exhale, hands come down, shoulders follow, then they pull down. One more time. Reverse warrior. Exhale, hands to the ground. Come to plank pose, sorry. Place the knees down and pause. Everybody pull your rib cage in, shoulder blades apart. Now it would be great, I don't have blocks right here, but if you have blocks next to you or a block, or a water bottle or something straight. I'm gonna sacrifice my phone. Oh, you can't see that, so that's not really worth it. Let me see if I can grab something. Okay, I got something here. All right, so we want to have something that's vertical. This happens to be vertical, so that works. And placing the vertical thing behind your forearm is going to tell you where your handstand needs to be, at least from the foundation up. This is the minimum. You can balance a handstand by going forward more, and you can balance a handstand at the minimum, but balancing a handstand back this way will never happen unless you do a huge back bend. Okay, so here's the minimum right here. Yep, sorry, roomy cards. Not the best, I apologize. Okay, so here we are. With the forearms vertical, grip your fingers into the ground and lean forward a little bit. Now push shoulder blades apart, ribs in. This, believe it or not, really preps you a lot for handstand. So the next step would be to, with your ribs in, to roll your rib cage more. So unroll your rib cage like this for a second. This is dropping it down. Now roll your rib cage inward. Now if you continue that, watch me for a second, you would have to move your legs to see how now rolling my rib cage inward even more. Okay, and then you can come back down. So you're gonna do a few of those. Sorry that I don't have my blocks on me, but essentially the block is gonna tell you where vertical is. And all you're gonna do is stay in vertical and watch me one more time. And you'll do a few lift ups and lowers, rolling the rib cage. I suggest tucking your chin to initiate the roll, letting the legs follow, and then come back down. And the whole while, try not to move your shoulders back as you rise, because most people will do this. They'll do this, okay? That's like down dog. It's not down dog. So it's lift your knees up by rolling your rib cage and keeping the weight forward. You can do a few reps, shoulders to the ears. And you'll find that that is very tiresome, very challenging pretty quickly. I'll give you a moment to do a few since I was demoing. And just focus on rolling the rib cage. And if those of you that are in the immersion, if you want to get a little bit of feedback on this, you can post this video of this on the Facebook group. It'll be helpful for me to see these. And also thank you everybody that's been posting on Instagram and sharing little tidbits of this immersion with your people and everything. I really appreciate that. Thanks for tagging me. Always happy to repost on Instagram, unless your account is private. Some of you have private accounts and I can't reshare those. Just FYI. Okay, so let's come to down dog. We'll get back to that in a second. In your downward dog, pull your front ribs in and shoulders to the ears. Take your left leg to the sky and pause here. We're going to keep the hips level and lean a little into your left hand. Fingers of your left hand especially grip, since now they're taking the most of the weight. And your chest is not dropping. Your armpits are not dropping. They're lifted. One more inhale. Step left foot forward. Inhale, straighten through the front leg. Exhale, round a little bit in the upper back and look at your navel as you bow. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, straighten, bow. A little pull back of the ribs to look at your navel. Inhale. Exhale. Step forward. Halfway lift. Exhale and bow. All right, come to Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Walk your feet back a little bit. Make like a tabletop position. Press the backs of your legs away from one another.
Okay, now I suggest placing your hands on the ground. If you've got a hard surface in front of you, that's great. Fingers grip the ground. We're gonna do the exact same drill we just did with less range of motion. I call this handstand prep position number 1. Maybe just watch, take a break for a second and watch so you get the biomechanics. Right now, can you see that my body weight is in my feet and not in my hands? If you can't see it, watch how I transition my body weight out of my feet and into my hands. Now I'm shifting to my hands. Do you see that? But if I try to do a handstand like this, I'd have to do a big back bend to get my feet up overhead. So watch, it's not just leaning into the hands, but it's also rolling the rib cage. And I go back and forth like that. I unfurl. Right, here I am, and then I tuck the chin, lean, grip, and push. Now that can be really scary, so I would suggest going really slow. I lean, grip the ground, and I push, and as I push, I roll the rib cage. See how my heels are up, way off the ground. Now most of you will lean, and you'll look forward like this, and you'll push, and your body will be like this, all right? So make sure I suggest, and if you feel at all doubtful of your ability to hold this posture, put your back to a wall, stay safe, okay? And if you've got a friend nearby, they can spot you to make sure that you don't fall over, okay? But rounding, gripping, and pushing, that is what's required to do a handstand. Lean, gripping, rounding, and pushing. I'll give you some play time. I call this in the handstand training online, the one that I have on my website, I call it handstand prep position number 1. And it is the most important drill of the training. It's very rudimentary, basic, foundational level, which doesn't mean it's easy. It actually means it's incredibly challenging, yet incredibly important to continue to do over and over again. And this will train you how to do a handstand, but also train you how to do a press handstand and transitions in and out of handstand. So this exercise, handstand prep position number 1, is the key. Can't stress it enough. I'll give you a few more moments to play around, and then I'll give you the next exercise and also give you a break. Okay, enough playtime for a moment. You'll get more in a second. Let's come to stand up and do just a hamstring warm-up. Not that you haven't had enough, but we'll do another one. Take your right leg up, interlace the hands underneath the right hamstring, shrug your shoulders up and back, and move your hips back. Your hands should be at the center of the hamstring, so not by the knee, but right at the belly of the hamstring. Press your right leg down and kick it forward. Hold. Now, if you really want to practice handstand, let go of your hands and reach the arms up and keep the leg high as you possibly can. And release. Oh, yes. Key muscles there for handstand. Let's go to the other side. Left leg comes up. Hands underneath the belly of the hamstring. Move your hips back. Shoulders go up and back. Hold them there. Press your left leg down into your hands and kick forward. First we hang here.
Now let's see if we can. Okay. Woo! Got a good prep. Here we go. What does Nikki say? Leaning, pressing, tucking, pushing. But my hips feel super heavy, even though some toe air time is happening for a mild second. Yeah, your hips should be heavy still. We didn't really get that far, Nikki. But here's the deal. If your hips, if you're trying to go beyond the next step and get your hips light, that rolling action that I just showed you eventually translates into the pelvis. So I can show that for you, but I'm not going to suggest you do it right now because you might wind up falling over and hurting yourself. So watch just for the sake of understanding the inspiration behind these actions. Lean, grip, watch the push, push, lean, grip, push, lean, grip, push. Okay? And that eventually leads to a little bit of hang time. Now the next step would be lean, grip, push, roll, lean, grip, push, roll. And you go to the extreme. Lean, grip, push, roll, lean, grip, push, roll, lean, grip, push, roll, lean, grip, push, roll. Okay? So it's not a one-time lean, grip, push, and hold. It's lean, grip, push, roll, lean more, grip more, push more, roll more, then lean, grip, push, and it's like a constantly doing it more and more and more. And what most people will do is they'll do one of those actions too much and not enough of the other. So it's a continuously increasing all of them, and you have to increase them evenly, and that's what takes practice. Because if you lean more but you don't have the grip or the resistance in your forearms, then you go falling over. If you don't lean enough and you are gripping really strongly and you're pushing really strongly, you still stay on your feet. So it's learning how to increase them evenly over the course of time. Lean, grip, push, roll. That will actually get you into a handstand. So let's go to the next step. Again, we're not really trying to balance a handstand today. I want to give you the foundational techniques so that you can get a taste of the importance of the journey. And again, the most important thing here is learning how to become aware of your body. So this next step is handstand prep number 2, which I share. You know, I'm just going to take away the mat because with handstand, it's so much better on the wrist if you're not on something squishy, okay? So you can try this. Now watch me for a second and then you'll go. So we do the same thing. Lean, grip, push. Notice how my forearm here is what I really focus on in the handstand training. Okay, making sure that that's at least vertical. Okay, I know where it is, but if you have a block, put it behind your forearm is great. Lean, grip, push, roll. One leg goes up like three-legged dog, and you hold. Now, switch. Look at your top leg if you can. And when you look at your top leg, you're going to feel the weight shifts back into your feet. Look at your top leg, but lean into your fingers and grip the ground. Now, I recommend that if this is the first time you're ever doing this exercise, especially if you're a overachiever, make sure you have a wall behind you, because you can, if you tuck your chin and lean and roll, you can actually fall pretty easily even though your foot is still on the ground. So I do recommend having a wall behind you just to really get into the extreme of lean, grip, push, and roll the rib cage, okay? Let me know how it goes, everybody. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Nina says her rectus femoris is screaming. That's amazing. That's your hip flexor, and for everyone else that is out there,
listening, it's one of your quadriceps, it's a hip flexor. And when your leg straightens and your leg is also in hip flexion, the rectus femoris will be screaming. And Tara also says her hip flexors are super tight and locked up. Yeah, well, these are the muscles we are working with. I believe in all of you to get stronger. Just requires that repetition. All right, so I assume at this point you've done both sides. So let's save a little energy and watch the next drill. This time I'm really gonna say let's have a wall behind you. Let me just move the camera so you can see. All right, so here we go. So now you have the wall behind you. We'll remove this yoga mat. And you do the exact same thing. Ready? You could say it with me now. Lean, resist, push, roll, leg goes up. Now you do a little hop and you take the bottom knee into your chest. Then you switch. Lean, grip, push, roll, hop. Okay? Try those a few times and then I'll take you to the next step. Lean, grip, push, roll, hop. Yeah, cool. Okay, so you all ready for the next thing? Let's see which one. Okay, so this one of my favorites that I share in the handstand training as well, is a kick switch. Okay, so the last one we'll do, it'll give you a little bit of a taste of handstand for many of you. You have the wall behind you. The actions are the same. Lean, grip, push, roll, hop, and switch the legs. Okay, so hop and switch which leg's on top. And make sure you have a wall behind you, and make sure you do lean, resist, push, hop, and switch. Last one we got today with everybody. Oh, yay. Lean, resist, push, hop, switch. Make sure you're rolling too. Don't forget about the rolling of the rib cage. Shoulders are to the ears. Don't forget about that. Every time you put more weight in your hands, like when you hop the bottom foot off the ground, that puts more weight in your hands. So your shoulders are going to get spongy. They're going to start sinking away from your ears. Keep them up to your ears. Push, push, push. As you hop, remember to push and roll the rib cage. Fingers grip the ground. You just keep going back and forth between all those parts. Grip the ground. Well, lean, grip the ground. Push, shoulders to the ears, rib cage in, rolling the rib cage. Lean, grip, push, roll. Lean, grip, push, roll. All right, friends. Playtime has come to a close. Let's cool down. If you swept your yoga mat out to the side, let's bring it back. You can start by just doing a little neck stretch. Place one hand on the wall. Let me see. Sorry. Where are we? Okay, here we go. One hand on the wall, and like you're doing side plank, reach through the arm, and then slowly lower the head away from that arm. You can pull the shoulder down now, shoulder blade down your back as you move your head away, stretching the trapezius here by pulling the shoulder down and moving the head away from it.
Reaching through the heel of the hand as well. You're going to feel a deeper stretch, maybe some of you down through the bicep as well, through the elbow. Okay, let's switch sides. Shoulder blade comes down the back, reach through the heel of the hand. Head comes away from the shoulder. All right. Come to the ground now. I'm just going to read some quotes, messages. Take your forearm, palm face up, knee comes to the forearm, and just rest your body weight into your forearm muscles. Of course, if it's too much, then release. I unlean and unroll when I kick up, says Kristen. Yeah, thank you, Kristen. I know that's why I keep saying lean, grip, push, roll, because the thing is, this happens to everyone. It's not just you. It's also why I said, like, put a block behind your forearm. That all of us do that, and it's what keeps us coming back down to our feet. Our body knows, it's very intelligent. It knows that if you keep leaning and you keep rolling, that you won't come back to your feet. And your body's trained to always try to come back to the feet. And so as a result, as you kick, your body is going to manipulate and keep you down on the ground, thinking this is keeping you safe, and it is. But slowly you coax yourself into leaning more, gripping more, pushing more, and rolling more, and eventually that will become the norm for you. So think about, your body has to gain trust in being upside down on the hands, and it needs to be that experience needs to be the norm. That takes so much repetition. Switch arms over and over and over again until the body starts saying, well, maybe actually I'm supposed to be on my hands, right? And that's how we learn to walk, right? Like over and over again, falling on our butt every time trying to stand. Eventually the body said, oh, maybe I'm supposed to be upright, and started to learn how to stand upright and eventually walk. Except we were young at that time. We don't remember that process. If we did, then we would probably integrate that learning into so much more of our life. But also, when you're young, learning doesn't require frustration. It's a lot less frustrating to learn. Though it is frustrating, you know, babies will cry when they get frustrated. But for adults, it's actually more frustrating, more intense. And that's just a neurological makeup of the difference between adults and children. Okay, release. We'll just do one more stretch back behind us, interlace the hands. And let's come onto our back. You can hug the knees, maybe a little roll side to side. And any variation of Shavasana that works for you. So I often like to take constructive rest with thighs rolled in. That works well for my body. Some of you won't like that, some of you will. It's up to you. Whatever resting position, you can use bolsters, anything to allow your nervous system to relax. Now, I do recommend, if you want to take a longer Shavasana, just press pause on the video now and let yourself go. And I'll see you on the next one. If there's any movements that you need, you can do them. Start to settle in so that your body becomes heavy to the earth. Let your bones become heavy, grounding down. Come back to your breath. Awaken to the fingers and toes. Stretch your arms overhead. And roll to your side. Come up to a seated position. Place the hands at heart. And we bow in honor of this body, this community of everyone that's been practicing with us, and everyone that has passed this yoga practice down to us and through us. We bow in and with a big heart full of gratitude. Namaste. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for practicing today, for tuning in, for sharing your journey with me. Those of you that are in the chat, thanks for being here. And big announcement, I created I decided on the next immersion, which is going to be heart opening. So we'll be doing things like King Pigeon, we'll be doing things like Scorpion Pose, King Dancer, King Cobra. We'll also do like full wheel and variations of it and such, and many foundational back bends as well. So I hope to have you in that. It's not available for sale yet, but it will be available soon, and I'll send that link out to you shortly. All right, Marissa, thank you so very much. Have a great day. Lenora, thank you so much. You could feel handstand in your arms when you're on your back. Yep, that's one of the exercises we do in the handstand training. It's a great way to learn it. Belinda says, great class. Thanks, Belinda. Nice to have you here. Nina says, thanks a lot. Still a long way to go, but exploring the prep poses was fun today. Happy to have you here exploring them with us. Thanks, Nina. Simona says, thank you so much, Matt. Loved it as always. Have a great rest of your weekend. You too, Simona. Tara says, thank you as well. Thanks, Tara. Johanna, thank you so very much. Nice to have you here. All right, everybody. Manuela and everyone down in the Cayman Islands, thanks for tuning in as well. Lots of love to you all. Have a beautiful Saturday, Sunday, or whatever day you're watching this. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care of yourselves. Be well. Happy handstanding.